community is excited to be able to stay connected as long as we have to be socially distant. And so this is our way of keeping us all informed and engaged. So depending upon the speaker, the time may change as it did today, but I'm looking forward to continuing these conversations with all of you on a variety of topics. So when Pamela at the end of the session sends you a survey, by all means, please complete it because we'd love to have your feedback and input on future topics. So I see a few more tiles coming in, so I'm just going to give it another minute. And what I will note is as you look at your screen, you may notice, if you're a regular, that there are some unfamiliar faces. And that's because of our speaker, Baye McNeil, who's attracted a variety of people, not only in the United States, but in Japan, but also because several of you have shared this meeting with others, and we are excited about that. Some of you are the creative artists from the Japan-US Friendship Commission program. Some of you are what we like to think of as next generation leaders who are interested in Asia. Some of you have been studying Japanese with Globalized DC with Sally Schwartz. So welcome to any newcomer. We're really happy to include you in this discussion. So I think the screen has slowed down in terms of it being populated. So I'm going to officially introduce myself and let you know that I'm Paige Cottingham Streeter. I am the Executive Director of the Japan-US Friendship Commission. I also serve as Secretary General of CULCON, the Conference on Cultural and Educational Interchange. I'm excited to welcome you this morning. I'm honored that we have Mr. Baye McNeil as our featured speaker. I'll introduce him briefly in a moment. But I also just want to share that we have at least 4 of our commissioners with us. You may find them on the screen, or you may end up with them in your breakout session. We've got Dr. Sheila Smith, Dr. Sam Morris, Dr. Ed Lincoln, and Dr. William Tsutsui. If I've overlooked anybody, I apologize, but please feel free to make yourself known. Some of you may know that the commission is an independent federal agency, but CULCON is funded by the Department of State, and we are always happy to have our colleagues from the Department of State join this meeting, and I believe that there may be a couple of you here, so thank you so much for your participation. And I'm seeing waving hands and smiles, so welcome all. So today's conversation is going to be around race, racial reckoning. 2020 has been an unusual year for so many reasons. We've been dealing not only with a global pandemic, which has revealed a lot of inequities between the races here in the United States especially, but we've also been responding to some of the violence, a lot of the violence that's been inflicted upon Black people, not only in the United States, but around the globe. The death of George Floyd, the murder of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and so many others before and since that time has had an outpouring of attention, protests, and many of us engaged in some reflection about what we as individuals can do to address racism and systemic racism, as well as racial inequities. But we've also been thinking about what our institutions can do. And in this community, where our focus and our mission aligns with the US-Japan relationship and international affairs more broadly, we recognize that there's still work that we can do also. And thinking about who's participating in the programs that we offer, who are our next generation leaders, is there adequate representation? And so I'm excited that we have as a speaker today, someone who's been living in Japan, a Black man, an African-American, who has been writing about not only his experiences in Japan as a Black person, but just providing commentary on Japan's response to the Black Lives Matter movement and race more broadly. So we have as our speaker, Mr. Baye McNeil. He's a writer, a journalist, an activist, and he's become a good friend to those of us at the Commission and CULCON. So I'm going to ask Pamela, my colleague, to give you a few housekeeping rules. I think at this point we've all figured out how to mute and unmute ourselves. You're good at that. But we do have a couple of specific details about how today's session will flow. Pamela.
Okay, thanks everyone for being here. Whoops, we've got people who are, hold on just a minute. A little technical difficulty. Okay, we'll go over a few very, you know how to keep yourself muted and all of that. What we are going to be doing a little bit later is dividing into chat rooms. And you'll each be assigned to a chat room randomly, and we'll give you a discussion topic, which we sent out yesterday also. Please accept the invitation to move to the chat room when it appears on your screen. So please introduce yourselves and please choose a moderator for the discussion. That seems to work best in these small groups. At the end of the breakout session, you'll receive a notice that you have 60 seconds to rejoin the main room, but you can do so right away. And we won't have time for each group to report back to the big group, but there may be an opportunity to share a few responses. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Pamela. So now, Baye, the mic is yours.
Oh, okay. Well, good evening. Good morning. What time is it there now? It's 11 now, right?
On the East Coast, it's 10:08.
10:08. Well, right now it is 12 a.m. here in Yokohama, Japan. My name is Baye McNeil. First of all, I want to thank Pamela and Paige for inviting me. You guys have been great putting this together, and I'm very excited to be a part of this. A little bit about myself. Originally, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I came to Japan in 2004. To that point, let's see, what was I doing? I was a salaryman in New York. I worked in Midtown Manhattan as a salaryman. Why am I using that term? It's a Japanese term, right? I was an executive salesman at this company in New York, and I just got tired of that life, and I knew that my destiny lay in writing. And then after 9/11 shocked all of us New Yorkers, I decided to take a break, and I came over here just for a brief spell, and it turned into now 16 years and 16 very productive, very happy years. So I guess I went to Long Island University in Brooklyn, and I graduated with a bachelor's degree in English and media arts. And I started writing for a local newspaper in Brooklyn, and I wrote my first novel at that time before I came to Japan. Then when I came to Japan, and I'm going to start the PowerPoint presentation now, if that's okay. Okay. All right. So, Race and Reckoning and Reflections from Japan. So, when I first came to Japan, this was in 2004. As you can see, I was really enjoying myself. These are some of my favorite things. The first picture is Hanabi, which is a fireworks festivals in Japan. And this is my other favorite thing, which is the onsen. This is an onsen in Kusatsu, Japan. Onsen is a hot spring, so it's my favorite activity. So when I came to Japan, I was really immersed in enjoying the culture quite a bit and studying the language, trying to learn more about the culture, about my place in the society. But the more time you spend in Japan, the more you come to realize that